Good morning. I am in Willow River State Park. Give you a quick sense here. I'm in the 100 Loop campground, and briefly, this is what the sites are like. As far as cover, you got pretty good cover between you and your neighbors. This feels like a new campground. It hasn't matured yet. Give it time. But it has the nice new shower building. I don't believe the 200 and the 300 loops have quite the same amenities. We'll give you a sense of those. I'm probably not going to do a full driving tour of the campground, because I think it's more about what each feel of campground is like, and I'm pretty sure if I do a driving tour, you're just going to see trees. You're not going to be able to see what the sites are looking like. I did just find somebody who has a YouTube video of a photo of every site. That can get a little monotonous too. So we're going to show you what else is here. I'm sure you're anxious for one thing though. Let's get to it. Now my site right there on the back of the 100 loop, I think 131 is my site number, or is 113. Anyway, it's at the back end of the 100 loop, and that gave me the little path here to sneak out to get to the bigger path. Now this bigger path is the one, it's the yellow one on the map, which connects the 100 and the 200 campground. The next site also has a nice little connection, that was the end of the loop, and it heads off. This path then takes you to the trail to go to the falls, and that's why everybody initially comes to Willow River State Park. So we're gonna take you to the top of that trail and give you a sense of what that's like. First thing you'll hit is a grave site for the family that used to own this land, and an overlook. Did the overlook? Don't bother. There's nothing to overlook. All it is just a little top of a ridge in the woods, and you can't see anything. There is a little hint of the old industry that was here at one time. So speaking of which, the falls, which are huge, huge. If you see pictures, make sure you note the size of the people in the picture, because it is much bigger than it appears. The falls, until not that long ago, were dammed. There was a big dam at the top of the falls and another reservoir above that. That dam was put in the late 1800s, originally for a mill, and then before 1900 the owners of the dam decided to add electric power to that. So the dam here was powering the local town Hudson, one of the first places in the country that had electric power. So the dam was removed. There's still some evidence of the dam having been there, especially for the hydropower. But for the most part, it's been pretty well restored. Just be careful along the edge of the water. There are a few spots where there's still some twisty rebar sticking out. We now have the sign for the falls. Just over there is the trail to the parking area that is next to the entrance gate, and that is the main parking area for the falls. That parking area does have a restricted amount of parking spots, and I did notice they have a parking lot full sign that they'll put up. So they kind of limit how many bodies can get down here, but there's still a lot of bodies can get down here. So this is the daunting hill to get down to the falls. So yesterday I went up and down that twice. I spent a lot of time down there. If you're going to go down there, plan on spending time down there because it's a hike out. I realized I won't be able to do video down there and talk to you because it is loud. This is a massive roaring waterfall, and the audio wouldn't be very good. So we have this massive cascading waterfall, many layers, and on a nice summer day, it is a wonderful spot to cool off and roll around in the water. There are a few spots you can kind of jump in. This video you can see a little kid jumping in on the off a lower rock. Now I try to work my way across from one side to the other, carefully stepping along the way, and I didn't see that hole. I was going about ankle deep on the upper passage, and I didn't see that hole, and I kind of fell in, probably about a 3-foot hole. That was okay. I just had my cell phone, and I did protect that, and that's what all these video shots are from. There is also then over on the right side, you'll see a little wall and the tube that comes down that are remnants of the old dam. If you can work your way up above that, there's some more cascades up there that are actually very pretty. They don't look quite as daunting as the big falls, so they're kind of nice to enjoy. Just careful getting back down. Everything's easier going up than coming back down. On the left side of the falls, that big overhang of sandstone, I think, has climbing hooks on it. There is rules for climbers. You cannot add any additional hooks. Use the existing anchor points that are there, and you can't just go up top and rappel down. I don't want you to do that, but you can use that climbing if you want. There's additional trails that will take you to the overlook of the falls. Now, I went back down in the evening trying to get pictures without the crowds, which is pretty much impossible. There's always somebody there, and there's always somebody in the falls, and there's always people posing for pictures in the falls. Now, it does help because those give you a sense of scale. But I basically spent my evening down there last night waiting for some bodies to clear out so I can get a nice clean shot. But it got to the point where I was doing such long exposures, they were just kind of a blur in the mist, as you can see in these photos. So that's the falls. They are spectacular. They are so much bigger than I expected. Now we're going to explore the rest of this campground, or the rest of this state park. All right, after a little breakfast, give my body a little more time to recover. Did a lot of hiking yesterday, not only twice up and down to the falls and around the falls, but earlier in the day in a separate video I was at Effigy Mound National Monument, so I'll link that there, but that has left my legs very sore. So I'm going to do a fairly easy trail up here, and I'm going to show you a little bit more of the 100s campground, and then it'll take me over to 200s campground, and I think the group camp as well in this loop I'm going to take. Like I said, the shower building here is one of the newer ones with the separate showers on the ends, and then the men and women's bathrooms. This end is similar to how ours is. This is the opposite end of the loop, where there is one pull-through site on the corner. It's kind of neat because if you got big rigs, it makes it easier to get around. But this is the kind of You have some general trees here. You can get plenty of solar in here. There might be a few sites that have a little more shade with some mature trees, but they'll grow. The trees will grow. But in general, this is what the 100s look like. You do have good cover between neighbors. Can't even see the fifth wheels and things along the way. I don't know what it's like in the spring and fall. Actually, I do know these things are probably bright and pretty, but I don't know if they thin down to the point where you can see. So in general, when you come into the 100 group, this is what you see. You go left, which is kind of this weird crossover because they got to cross over and you go that way. But you can kind of look through, you can barely see the vehicles in here. I like this little fifth wheel peeking out over there, but you don't see your neighbors. They won't really see you. And for a quick reference, there's the 100 campground. There is the entrance station, so it's as soon as you get in. I'm gonna come over here and take this trail. So this is the knapweed trail, I believe. Through a pine forest over here on the edge of a meadow on the other side. Now this is one of the most popular parks in the state park system in Wisconsin, partially because of those incredible falls. There is some good diversity of trails, but a lot of it is also proximity to Minneapolis, just over that way. We are pretty close to Minnesota border. That kind of surprises me because Minnesota's got lakes. Minnesota's got state parks. They got some beautiful scenery too. Okay, transitioning off, I get a cluster here. There's a parking area. We got the yellow trail, the orange trail, and the brown trail coming over here. Now the brown trail, Oak Ridge Trail, goes past the group campsites. Let's take a look at that while we're here. All right. I got a big fire ring here. And a shelter. Let's see, we got some carts. I'm going to take a moment and dump these. Dumped, you can see each one's labeled per site. So I'll probably have to dump B now too. We got water. Toilets. This is one of the trails. A. Take a look at D. A is occupied. So this is meant as a group site. So you can have a group there, some over there, some over there, some over there, all kind of just clustered around here. Okay, this is site B. It's not as big a group site as certainly D was. This is all it is. Now C, there was a couple tents and a hammock set up. I thought out here I might find a little flatter trail. I don't think there's a flat trail in this park. Gotta go down and back up again. Because I'm starting knowing that my campground, 100s, had a long way down to the falls. Well, I'm walking the southern edge of trails, and this is going to take me all the way to the beach, which is at the dam level, which is as low as you get in this park. So I'm going to go there and then work my way back up, visit the 300 camp group and then the 200 camp group. All right, coming up on a trail split. Let's see where we are. All right. Okay, to give you a sense of what we've done here, falls are down there. I might still get there, who knows. Okay, this is where my campsite was in the 100 group. I walked you over to here. This is the steep downhill run there. So we came out the campsite, caught the red trail, pine forest. This is prairie. Came to this junction point, went past the group sites. That is all dense woods. We're all the way down here now. I'm not gonna take the Trout Brook Trail. This is enough hiking for me today, considering I have to go back. We're gonna go across, take a look at the area of the nature center, the beach, and the lake, and then head on back. So far, for most parts, all the trails have been these wide single lane road widths. Now, off on the side here, they have this windy, twisty road path over here. Sign down there says trail closed, bike path under construction. So it looks like they're working on a fun mountain bike trail in here. So the nature center's over there, and there's two trails off of that. One is an accessible interpretive trail, and another one is called the outdoor playground. The outdoor playground has things like balance beams, rope things, different things to interact with as you're going around the trail. So it's geared for like 8 to 12 or maybe 5 to 12, I think it is. So it's a great place to take the kids, burn off a little energy. Now this is interesting. I am as far away from the falls as you can be in the park. And there's a big parking area here. Very clearly they mark which way to the falls. Now this is a big, beautiful picnic area. Even if you can't go swimming, beautiful place. Come and have a picnic on the water. So there's a couple of these little guys out here. I assume they're here for geese removal. Keep them from coming in. So here's the beach when the beach is available right now. It's a beautiful, calm piece of water. I don't know why there's nobody out there paddling. All right, this is kind of neat. So this little interpretive sign here is giving us a history of several dams. I am right now standing right next to Little Falls Dam, which creates the lake out here. There were several other dams around here. This particular Millen Dam was upstream of Willow River Falls, the main falls. But when they built the dam behind that blocked off that canyon, this one was flooded under. So that became part of the reservoir. This is what it looked like before they tore everything down. So there was a full building down here. I think you can see some remnants of that. The bridge would kind of go in front of here, but you can see clearly where the steps are that we know today in the dam. But that was all plugged up until 1992. So actually where the powerhouse stood is where the viewing platform is today. So here is the shiny new dam. built just a couple of years ago. I don't see any signage down here, and you can just wade right in right here. However, it is marked as a portage route, so if you're coming from up there, you can portage down and head downstream. It's definitely a downstream thing. I can't see you paddling up that. So here's the other half of the portage. So you can take out here safely. Now I'm betting there's probably some fishing downstream of that dam. I'm not a fisherman, so I can't be sure. I can't guarantee it, but looks like a good spot. I assume that's for geese?
It is, and it's working. It's working. We had a big flock that was basically coming up here every morning, all day, just poop everywhere.
Poop everywhere, yep.
And since we've had these 2 decoys, this is the 2nd week we haven't had a goose up here.
Oh, wow.
So they found elsewhere to go up that way. So we're winning. First time here, or?
It's my first visit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You camping or just?
I'm camping.
Okay.
I've got myself in like the closest spot to the falls, you know,
Okay, yep.
off the back of the 100 sites.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I made that trek twice yesterday.
Yeah.
My legs are feeling it. But
the hill is not anything to be.
no. And now I'm realizing I walked all the way down. I was like, well, I'm going to have to hit a hill on the way back somewhere.
Yeah. Do you have a big camper, or is it a?
I've got a van.
You got a van?
Yeah.
The 300 campground, you probably walk through that?
It's on the way back. Yeah, I
Yep.
took the outer loop to get here.
Okay. Yep. So the 300 campground, you'll notice like that there's a trailhead going to the falls from there too.
Yeah.
And it's only about a mile one
Okay.
way from there.
And that's
It's a
probably
lot-
closer level.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
If you have a van, there's a lot of nice campsites in there from there. So if you do come back, that may be an option for you. You can
Okay.
walk around and take a mental note of,
Yes.
oh, I like this site, this site, this site.
Yeah, I looked at the map and went, this one's closest.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No paying attention to terrain. So.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, the 300 campground's our oldest campground, and it's heavily wooded.
Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah. So, well, enjoy your day.
Thank you. The lake was started to be drawn down in 2015 because of a failing dam. It wasn't refilled until 2020. Well, we all know how 2020 went. And then this is the first year where the lake is filled in the past 6 years. So I noticed before that there were no rentals here. No kayaks, no canoes, anything like that. Well, that kind of explains why, because this hasn't been usable for recreation like that since 2015. So I think it's time, I don't know if there's a friends of or anything like that of this park, but it's time for that to be reintroduced, I think, and allow kayaking and canoeing back in this lake, increase the recreational use. If you know of a bigger, older tree in the park, let me know in the comments. That thing is big. Well, found my way over to the boat ramp. Someone putting kayaks in right now. So those are not stockades. That's where rental kayaks and things would be. But they don't have any. So I'm coming up inside the 300 campground. When I looked at the map, I figured 300 campground, closest to the beach, definitely a family campground. And they're all family campgrounds, but like this one was intended for those to take the kids down to the beach. So I'm on the green trail and it is dead ending in the campground. On the other side of the campground is the blue trail that takes you out to the falls. And every step of the way, there's a sign that tells you the shortest route to the falls. So this is the 300 campground. Very, very different than the 100 campground. So let's take a look around. Deep, wow, deep wooded sites. This is as big as some of those group campsites. And you can drive right in. I think they kind of intend gravel ends where I'm standing, but all of that for your tents. Now you're only allowed 2 vehicles per site, but this looks like it holds a lot more. 363, 364. I'm really going to go for a little walk here to try to see what the facilities are like here. Got a pair site over here, 367, 366. That's not much different than that last one I was checking out. But there's plenty of room, plenty of cover between you and your neighbors, lots of shade. Not the place if you need solar. But there's a lot of electric sites here too. Lots of pair sites. They've been mistaken about the amenities here. So this site backs up to the playground. That's is site 326, and it is electric. There's the power over there. Now, if you don't like kids screaming in your backyard, this may not be the one for you. But if you got the kids and you want them to just be able to roll off the back of the site, look what you got to play with. So they do have a bathroom shower facility here. Hi. Hello. Hello. So they got this great site overlooking the water down here. In the 300 group.
The 300 group.
Is this a pair site?
This is a single.
This is a single.
Yeah.
This is
a monster
huge.
Single.
This is a huge site. Yeah, the sites here are pretty big.
Yeah.
First time subscriber caught me and flagged me down, and that explains why that section is so full. They got like 60 people in a group that get together and travel around. So there are a nice group of sites down here in the 300 group that are right on the water, or at least overlook the water nicely. So this is a very active campground down here. But it was nice to see a subscriber call me out, bring me in, introduce me to the group. That was the 300 group campsites, campgrounds. Gives you a little sense of what they're like. They do have a shower building. It's a little smaller than the one in the 100 group. A little older. The sites are older, but those were big sites. For an older state park campground, those are some pretty big sites. And like I said, for the first time in years, there's a lake. That's a great campground, and it's a pretty easy path from here. It's a little further, but it's an easy path over to the falls as well. Since I was distracted by my subscriber as I went through the campground, I now realized that I'm partway down this blue trail, that I've completely missed the 200 group campground. I would have had to go back up through the campground, over and into that one. So we're gonna have to go over there later in the van. But right now, we're heading to the base of the falls. So I've been walking the trail for a while now, along the water, getting into the woods, and I can feel a temperature weather shift, and I can start to hear the falls. This is the junction with the hill that takes you up to the parking lot designated for the falls. Up that way. We're gonna head over to the falls. Okay, last time I checked in on the map, I was here, and I went through over, checked out the beach, the Little Falls Dam, followed the trail back, hit into the campground. We did check out that, yes, they do have showers and that playground there. We visited with our subscriber here, and we went off the backside, followed the blue trail all the way out, and now I'm here. So since I'm here, I'm going to go over to the falls again. I don't have my wet shoes, so I'm not going to get into them. And then we'll go back up to my campsite, and then we'll check out 200 campground. And maybe if I have time, I might check out something else further out. There is a staircase going all the way up to an overlook, not so much for the falls, but I think downstream. Can't believe I went back down here. It's very different today. We had storms last night. It's a little angrier. It's a little less inviting for swimming. So please like and subscribe, because this is what I do for you. Subscribe to my channel and you see what other stupid things I do, so you don't have to. Anyway, I'm gonna head back up to the campsite now. I'll show you that hill when I get to it. But I still have the 200 group campground to show you, and I think I'm gonna try to do something else out on the edge of the park on the other side. So stay tuned. These little guys are everywhere. Come on, buddy. Well, this would be the halfway bench. And then it gets steeper. All right, give you a quick little another look here at the 100 group as I'm exiting it, and also why I'm not doing a driving tour. You got 138 on my right, 139 on my right, 139 on my right. You can't see into any of these, so it doesn't do you a lot of good for me to detail this. Typically the inside is electric, the outside is not. That's not uncommon. It's easier to run electric within an area. So, gonna pull out of the 100s here, hop down the street, and take a look to see what the 200 group of campsites is like. And here's the 200 group. It is really pretty adjacent to the 100 group, so I guess I'm not expecting a lot of differences here. Just so you know, 201 is on the road. It is on the Park Loop Road, or the main road. 202 on my right. Again, these are all back ends, so I guess I'm supposed to go left. I'm just going to do the quick drive through, maybe give you a sense here. Okay, so we have, just show you this quick. Well, that's just restrooms. I don't know if those are showers or not. And again, inside is electric, outside is not, if you're looking at the loop, although this first one, of course, is electric because it is the accessible spot. I can go both ways. We'll go left first. Okay, this one immediately, as soon as I get down around the corner, I feel like we have gotten into woods more than the 100 sites have. 220. Well, these are kind of nice. I got a pine plantation. 221 on my right here. 222. They're a little more open. Less cover between the neighbors. 223 on my left. 224 on my right. There's a hiking trail, snowshoe trail. Okay, whatever. 225 on my right. So there's an outside loop and there's one site on the inside. There's 226. That kind of backs up to everybody. 227 on my right. Well, that was a nice little loop. 228 on my right. And that's kind of that loop right there. Go back up. And go left. Cross over. I'm going to pull through that I just looked straight at. I don't know what it was. 207 on my left, 206 on my right, which is a pull through. Again, fairly large sites. This campground, this state park has large sites. 208 on my left, pretty big, then it drops off. 209 on my left, water on my right. 210 on my left, 211 on my right. You
can get a sense of what the cover's like here, what kind of trees you're looking at. The sun does come in. 212 on the left, 213 on the right. That one's tucked nicely in there. 214 on my left, 215 on my right, which is a pull through because it's a corner site. 216 on my left, 217 straight ahead, connects with the other one. 218 is again a pull through. That's it there. And that is it. 230 is straight ahead as soon as you come in. So the 200 group is actually pretty small, and I do not believe they have showers. I think they just have the one restroom up top. Let's take a quick look at something over here. I'm running down to the 300 group again. We walked part of it. We'll just drive on in and see how far down this is. Now the 200 group does not have garbage, and if you need a dump station, that's all the way down at the 300. There was garbage at the 100 group. Straight down the middle. So you can definitely see the 300s are wooded sites. Probably a little more challenging to pull your RV into than some of the others, but they will fit since they're all back in sites. It definitely has some thick woods. There's also a lot of dual sites, shared sites, but as we saw from my followers' site and group that we saw, they had really big sites that we thought were dual. Actually, it might have just been a pull through, but they had a lot of room for a lot of people, and they just booked sites next to each other. You have to plan ahead with that one though. 317, 319. These are sites that are on the edge of the water. 352 is on the edge of the water. So I'm just giving you those so you can, if that's what you want, they are here. 354. Okay, 354 is a big site. I wouldn't call it a pull through because put rocks on one end, but it's basically a pull through. It's that big. Well, actually, no, that's 356 on the water. Great big site. And the last one that's kind of on the water is 358. But if you look over on my right, I don't know if you can see it, got a scamp and 3 tents as well as the vehicle at 359. These have a lot of room. So that gives you an idea of the different campgrounds and the feel that you'll get in each one. Okay, so I have physically left the park. I am going to another trailhead on the other side, but you gotta go around the park to do it. I'm heading to River Road parking lot. But first, I'm going through a little town here. And I just want to note that if you're looking for a meal, the Wild River Saloon on the left has a pizza joint in the back on the lower level. It's a good place to go get a family meal if you want. So I took a left out of the park. As soon as you cross the river, I took a left on I. First thing. All right, then a left. Oh, this is still I. Oh, I'm not sure. The road sign is unreadable. Ah, there we go. Here's my parking area. It's not very big. All right, where am I? I am out here now. So, came out of the park, turned left, went past the parking lot for the Willow Falls that you really can't get to. Went out where A crosses the river is I, turn left, and then sort of find a river road to this parking area. Now I'm going to see if I can snake my way down to here. The trail hugs the edge of the park property. I have hit my next split, and thankfully it just tells me overlook to the left, and that's where I'm going. Okay, at the next split, notice the sign says overlooks. Keep going this way. Up on my first of the overlooks. Now this one, ooh, I got stairs. So knowing the history of this location, the dam where the falls are was there until not that many years ago in the grand scheme of things, which means most of this gorge was underwater. These are the stairs that go down to the base of the fall. So you could hike up from there up here. I looked at it, I saw it, I said no. I even saw a Google review that said, hey, the however many steps are worth it. I'm like, well, so it's a walk through the woods from that parking area and only those steps to come down. Now I'm just kind of waiting for a clear out to go look at the view. So that viewing platform was where a powerhouse used to stand. And that gorge used to be a dam. It's midday, we're probably about 1:30 right now. And you can just see the place is just crawling with people trying to get their feet wet and a little more. But I can only see the one side.
So I'm going to wrap up this video here of Willow River State Park. Obviously, the falls are the main attraction. The second dam that they just replaced a couple years ago is going to make a solid lake for many, many years to come. The lake looks absolutely gorgeous. The trails are pretty diverse too. Lots of different kinds of scenery to see. 100s look like a newer campground. I don't know the history of when the campgrounds went in, but definitely all the facilities look brand new. The 300 group looks like it's been there for a long time. However, well, I guess based on the dates, since this didn't become a state park till the 70s, I'm used to older campgrounds in the state, maybe 50s or earlier, or ones that had signs of the Civilian Conservation Corps have small campsites. They were meant, I mean, people didn't have big RVs back then. So they were meant for tent camping with a car. These sites, all of them are big. There's lots of room in all the sites here because it is a newer campground. So that's Willow River State Park. Thanks for coming along on the journey with me. It's been fun. I really enjoyed this place. That waterfall, I've never spent so much time in one place at a state park before. I probably spent 2.5, 3 hours down there, probably more. So thanks for coming along on the journey. If you like this video and enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. If you find it useful and you want to see more like this, please subscribe to my channel. That's how the YouTube algorithms work. You subscribe, you see more of my stuff, you see more other people's videos that have similar content. So that's how you help yourself by helping me. Get on out there, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to play some videos now, or some pictures of the falls. Everywhere I go, there's falls signs for the falls. No signs to tell you how to get out back to the parking area.